Hi, friends. The main reason that I recommend strongly that home buyers budget and save before they purchase a home is because buying a home can be expensive. Beside procuring a loan to purchase a home, there are other expenses that buyers have to pay. So, I want to discuss some examples of those buyer costs and give you a little more detailed information about each one. We'll discuss which ones are negotiable, which ones are not negotiable, which ones are mandatory, which ones are not required. So stay tuned. Let's talk about down payments first. Now, depending on what type of loan you are approved for, depends if you will pay a down payment or how much the down payment will be. So, your down payment for an FHA loan would be 3.5% of the purchase price. If you get approved for a conventional loan, that will be 5% to 20% down. Now, those of you who get approved for a VA loan or a USDA loan, y'all are good. There is no down payment requirement for those two loans. Another type of down payment that a lot of people don't really talk about is, what if I want to buy a home as an investment property? I believe that off the bat, 20% is required of that purchase price. Next, let's talk about earnest money deposit and due diligence fees. Now, these are totally negotiable, and a lot of factors can depend on if you offer earnest money deposit and or due diligence, such as how long has the house been on the market? Is there a lot of competition to purchase this home? And then, sometimes sellers will just, if you make an offer, they'll counter and ask maybe for more earnest money or more due diligence. But they're totally negotiable. An agent cannot tell you how much you should pay a seller. They cannot give you a figure. That would be totally unethical. There is no set payment that you should pay a seller. It's always negotiable. Let's talk about appraisals. Now, unless you put down 20% on a home, or if you're a cash buyer, an appraisal is pretty much mandatory for the lender to give you a loan. They order an appraisal in which the appraiser goes out, determines the value of the property, and then that would be what the lender will cut you a check for. Okay, now let's talk about inspections. Inspections are not mandatory, but I always strongly recommend them. It gives you more peace of mind moving forward in the purchase of a home. Even if you buy new construction, I would still recommend getting at least a home inspection. So, home inspections, once again, not mandatory but recommended. That is where an inspector comes out and literally checks the home from the roof to the crawl space or the slab. Now, this will run you typically in North Carolina between $350 and I'll say $600 just to be safe. Different factors determine how much your home inspection would be. If it's a crawl space or a slab, how many square feet it is, just different factors determine how much your home inspection is. There's also other inspections that I strongly recommend. HVAC inspections are just awesome to get for your peace of mind with your HVAC unit. Septic inspections if the home you're purchasing has a septic tank. Well inspections if the home you're purchasing has a well. There are other inspections as well, but those are the ones that I just recommend. HVAC inspections can run you, I would say, between $100 and $150 would be safe. Well inspections, I think, will run you around the same price as the HVAC inspections. Now, those septic tank inspections can be a little pricier, especially if you are getting your septic tank pumped and inspected. So that can usually run you, I think, around $300-$400. Closing costs is a big one because it can be negotiated. A buyer can ask a seller to pay some of their closing costs, to pay half of their closing costs, or even to pay all of their closing costs. Now, they may not do it, they may counter, and some sellers may say, okay, I want to get this house under contract, so I'll cover, some half or all of your closing costs. But your closing costs are a buyer responsibility. It's not a seller responsibility because sellers also have their own closing costs. Your closing costs are typically going to be between 3 and 5% of the cost of the home. So if you want to just get like an idea of what your closing costs could be, I always say to multiply the price of your home that you want to purchase by 3.5 to 4%, just to be safe. Those are some of the expenses that I wanted to discuss with you. I hope this helps, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than glad to help. Stay blessed.